everybody. It's been a little while since I sat here to talk to you. I'd been asked if I would do some radio on somebody's local station, and I'd given a couple of hours of my own free time working straight with Spirit to give sort of free readings, and because I work with Spirit and the way I work, plugging straight in with the powers that be, apparently it wasn't to this person's satisfaction. So unfortunately, again, I come up against those that even in this work still need to be working on themselves. He besmirched my character without even knowing me, but don't we get this anyway in our lives? Each day we have to put a mask on to be dealing with different people, and they never really know what we're like in the long run, and they make their own assumptions. And there are a lot of little sayings that support these from great people over the years, and unfortunately now and again we come into contact with those people who perceive to be working for the good, and in fact turn out to be quite judgmental, which is very sad in this work. Anyway, getting back onto the subject at hand, I've spoken to you now for a little while, and when we were coming up to the December time, when everybody was wondering what would happen after the 21st of December, we were all hoping that we would either be sort of moving on to good levels, and those that were not sort of in favour with our way of thinking and understanding, there would be a division. And you know, when an era or an epoch has been in keeping with so many, you know, a couple of thousand years or whatever, then we do get the baking tray syndrome. So all of the residue of the old age is thrown up, as we can see with what's going on all over the world with Mother Nature, but also the governmental bodies that tend to think they know better for us than we do. But also at this time we're into a period where the planets are concerned, and the full moons in particular, where there have been a set of eclipses happening, and the final of the major 3 eclipses are happening this weekend with the full moon, and it's very much a time for things being surfaced, things that have been hidden, and for some of us it may be on a personal level, or it may be grander things as in the media, but whichever way you look at it, it certainly is an age of revealing. Now we've had to get sort of through to this point, pleasant or unpleasant, before we can take a look at our inner selves and understand where we are on our particular pathways. Many years ago, Spirit said to me there would be a psychic holocaust. This was 1983. And of course, whichever way you look at it, you can see that translating on the earth plane as such. And for those who read the Bible or different scriptures, there's a part in the Bible that talks about and the sea shall give up its dead. And this can be multi-leveled or juxtaposed, in as much as it's not so much dead as in people or people who've died, but all that's outmoded. And it's as if we're in a year when the sea shall give up its dead. The old ways, everything that was and had gone before, in ready for these new beginnings. And it's as though we need to understand where we are at, rather than think that the world and that our experiences are happening to us on a very personal level. We need to realise that as part of Mother Earth also, we will experience not just our own, but what the earth is going through, what our brothers and sisters are going through, what our fellow human beings are going through, the animal kingdom. We could go on and on. But it's important not to take these things personal. And it isn't easy. It isn't easy for any of us by any account. And we need to sort of just get up each day, really, and start sort of thinking, what's the day going to do for me? Or else, if there's something that unpleasant does arise, put on the armour, get a little bit of fire in you, and don't see it as, oh, woe is me, that's it, game over. Fight a little bit. There are not enough of you fighting for your rights, and that is what this time is all about. Now, whether you believe in God or a creator, or you are religious under one particular label, the first place we need to begin is in not pointing the finger at other people in their religions, and to realise that the God, the Christian God, the Muslim God, or God has so many different names, but it is still one God. In hymns of old, we would hear him being called the Ancient of Days, or the Island of Paradise. He's got a myriad of names, so let's not fight about who is saying their prayers to the one with the right name, because that is just absolutely ridiculous in this day and age. It's simply for those who are good of heart, to join together so that the goodness can outweigh all of the negativity. We can look outside our planet Earth, and there are those that are talking about aliens and ETs and those that are, in part, coming to try to possess our own human form and take over from us. We're not just one little planet where there is life. There are other life forms. But what makes us unique is our individuality. It's the ego side of us that is the good aspect, that fights for our corner and our cause, is there in the warm-bloodedness of whom we are. Aliens and ETs don't particularly have this warmth, this ego, and they're fascinated by whatever it is that makes us as humans work. And the more warm-blooded you are, the more you have the ability to fight with a passion. Fight for your rights. Fight in the passivity of who we are, if you like. It doesn't mean we've got to go out killing and maiming different people. It just means we need to have that aspect within our hearts to win through with the battle of the darkness, which is very much the case at this moment. There are many people nowadays, and I believe it probably started with something to do with Star Trek or some specific writings, who are now superseding their names or their label above talking as to whether they are a medium or a seer or a clairvoyant, and now we're all empaths. And it sounds very good on the surface. And for those who have had some life experiences, real life experiences, then in part they are almost there. But empath comes from empathy, which is a little bit different from sympathy. If you have an empathy with someone else, it is because you know exactly what it has been like to be them. And whether you're a medium, a seer, or you want to call yourself an empath, the truth of the matter is that the powers that you link through you can only give a taster to you of what it was really like to be you. So fashionable as it is, and I'm only but simply one person making this point across. But no one in the world can be 100% an empath clairvoyant, an empath clairaudient. Impossible whilst we are on the earth plane in a physical form, unless you have been there. Does the skinny woman who suffered with anorexia know what it's like to be obese? To know what it's like to be shunned off a bus? Or looked at or poked fun of? If she does, or he does, that's fine. You're an empath. Do you know of you healthy people who have been able to have all of your limbs, or been able to walk and talk and do everything you want? Do you really know what it's like to be stuck in a wheelchair, or to walk without a leg? Don't tell me that mediums and seers are empaths. Absolutely not, unless they are, in part, these things that I am mentioning now and more. Does the man who says he's an empath know what it's like to lose a child to spirit when they're young? And yet he calls himself an empath. How come? The links from the spirit world and the hierarchy and your guides and your helpers and your angels will be working there hand in hand with you. But it doesn't make you an empath, because you cannot feel what those others who have gone through experiences like this feel. And that is partly what is wrong with the life today and society. There aren't enough of us who want to understand, who want to help and want to be there, to learn about being an empath. I don't think so. In part, for feeling temporarily a smidgen of what it's like for the person that's already gone to the spirit world as they touch with them, if indeed they do touch with the spirit world, because there are so many that do not. And I'm not having an opinion at all on that level. All I am saying is, think first. Trust what your heart tells you. Your heart holds the messages that's transferred to your brain and to your mind. And whoever is out there to counsel, to link with your loved ones, which there are plenty of too that are sincere who are doing so. Those others that I worked on with this radio station were lovely mediums. But needless to say, they will have their lessons and experiences just as I have. But for now, if there are those there, such as myself, that are wanting to help persons who are not of the understanding and link with their loved ones, then as long as some good is being done, then it's brilliant, whatever you want to call it. But do trust to your own feelings, what your own voices say to you, because first and foremost, they are correct. And anybody that says something to you that you cannot feel comfortable with, you are at liberty to give it them back. Always test ye the spirit, lest it be of God. And if you want to have a look at what work we're doing, I'm on SpiritualJourneyman.com, and I have a Facebook, Caroline Jennifer Knight, and 2 managed pages, Spiritual Journeyman, 2 words, and What is Life Without Thee. And if you like the look of these pages, then do like them, because we need to gather together those that are of like minds, who are not going to be fighting amongst themselves. So I will say God bless to you. And may your God go with you. Bye.